everybody, welcome to an episode of Handle the Heat. I'm your host TK, and with me today is Oliver Dickson. You may know him from YFM, doing Y Talks every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Oliver, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
How are you with hot food?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I grew up, obviously, man, in my crib, in my household where I grew up. Hot food was standard.
Okay.
Standard.
Okay, well, this is a game. This is called Handle the Heat, so it's not home food.
Yeah, I can handle it.
I hope you can handle it. So today we're talking about politics, the ins and outs, ups and downs. We just came out of Sona.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's going to be heavy criticism coming from the political analyst himself.
Yeah, I mean, I already put some criticism out.
Procedures are not protecting Jacob Zuma. Unfortunately, they benchmark the economy more than they benchmark protection for women.
Where the bodies of women just aren't respected in this country, and we need to fix that.
Voters are asking themselves, do we vote for the person who's going to create jobs for us? Do we vote for the person who's going to renew and restore this organization?
This is good. Real good.
So tell us about you, because you're a political analyst, you're young.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of political analysts on TV. They look seasoned, which is not a problem. But now we've been waiting for an opinion from someone who can relate to our age group and our demographic. Where'd you come from?
So,
Growing up in the West Rand, man, I grew up in a little town called Randfontein. My dad was an entrepreneur, but I remember my formative years. It's probably like 4 or 5 years old. He was politically active. He was a very active member of the UDM with Bantola Misa, and at the time with the old white guy, his name is Roof Mayor. And I remember that 1999 elections. I was 5 years old. My dad used to put me on the back of his bakkie, and we would drive around the hood, and I'd help them hand out flyers and candles. I just knew people had to vote. I didn't know what it meant, didn't know why it was important. I just knew people had to do it. So I guess from that age, I was conscious of a political system. I didn't have my own political views though, but I was aware of the system. So I just, like any normal kid, went through my schooling life, and at the end of it all, I went to university, and in university, I guess I found my political self. Do you get what I'm saying? I wasn't active in student politics though, but I was active in everything else. I was a competitive debater professionally in university, and that sort of pushed me into the space. It means that I have an idea like anyone else, or I have an opinion about what's happening in the country like any other person my age. The only difference is I'm well trained to be able to package and articulate my ideas. That's the only difference. My ideas aren't more exciting than the ideas of the next 25-year-old. I just have the ability to package it in a way that makes sense and that's palatable, and then present it as an argument to an audience. So that's really it. So that's been how I got into that space. I started writing as a columnist, a political columnist. I wrote for News 24 and various other publications, but I started with News 24 that's where I found my feet. And it wasn't anything special, man. I just used to wake up, watch the news, or have an idea about something, and I used to write a column about it. I tried to put my position and critique into 1,000 words and put it out. Do you get what I'm saying? News 24 audience picked it up, they published it, and it built from there, and and from that, radio producers, TV producers, they all start picking it up, reading it, and especially if it resonates with the people. I think for me it was special, man, because all of the writers at News 24 are like old, really old, and I think I may have been at the time the youngest writer. I was only like 22 or something, so I may have been the youngest writer at News 24 at the time, doing as a regular columnist. That was the same in the TV and the radio space I went to. So I got appearances requests by a lot of producers with like, yo, come onto our show, do this, from radio stations, Power FM, S02e04, Cake Talk, SAFM, went onto TV, which would be ENCA, SABC News, ANN7 that still existed at the time. And I did all these appearances. And then I think I found prominence there because a lot of people who know my work actually know me as a contributor on those things, as I was a regular contributor at ANN7 and ENCA for a while and SABC. So that's basically how my journey started, man, and it's still gonna go a very long way.
Come on, man.
You still good?
Yeah. These ain't even hot yet.
All right.
Good flavor though. I like the second flavor a lot.
Thai chili. Okay. So you went going to varsity. Does it sometimes bother you or bother people when they find out that you didn't study politics? You actually studied science.
All the time.
I used to not even tell people that. When people ask me, so what's your educational background? I just used to say, I went to Randfontein High School. I never mentioned the varsity part because it always brings up a very awkward conversation. I mean, when I finished high school, bro, I didn't even know what I was going to study. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know. I had no real plans. And I just went to varsity because at home there was like, go to varsity, you know, we poor, you gotta go study, make money, and then, you know, take care of the family. So I had a lot of options in front of me. I almost went to UCT to study astrophysics. I almost studied law, for instance. I almost studied musical theater, you know. I had all these options in front of me. But eventually I went to WITS to do a dual degree in chemistry and chemical engineering. Once I got into varsity, I picked up philosophy as well as a fun thing to do. So I did philosophy for a while as well. But yeah, I streamed into chemistry, and that's what I studied, you know. But knowledge is transferable, bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you studied. Knowledge is transferable, man.
Yeah.
Okay, this one kicks a bit. There's a delay. Oh no, this one kicks.
So YFM calls, you get a show, you're doing White Talks, you're talking about politics for the young people. What's that experience like for you?
So,
Because there's no youth show
Yeah.
that focuses on politics.
ooh, Mangale cakes, man. So I mean, I'm sitting on these TV platforms, and the people next to me are my dad and my mom's age. Woo.
You okay?
There's some milk for this Mangale.
So I decided I need to reach out to a younger audience. I need to speak more directly to young people. So I reached out to YFM and I said to them, I want to be a contributor every once in a while. I just want to comment on one of your shows. And one of the producer calls me back, she's like, yo, actually this is perfect because we've been looking for a political commentator. And I did that for a while in the run up to the ANC elective conference. I covered that for them. And that was in 2017, November, December. And the beginning of 2018, the station manager called me and he's like, hey man, just here's a show for you. Have your own show. And that's how I got a show at YFM. It's been dope because he gave me a blank slate, blank canvas. He didn't tell me what to do, how to do it. He just said, here's 2 hours on a Tuesday, do what you need to do. And I've been trying to figure it out since then.
Yeah. What response are you getting from the people now? Because you're educating a lot of people who, I don't want to say were ignorant, but they didn't know until you informed them, by the way, this is going on in your country.
It's crazy. The response, I thought that, yo, I'm gonna speak to young people and it's gonna be young people only, it's gonna be us, you know, it's YFM. And the reason why I thought of YFM initially when I wanted to speak to young people is because I grew up on YFM. I grew up listening to the station, man. I grew up listening to Season Scoop and all these guys, you know. And it's like they formed a lot of my thinking around that age. And I want to speak to the 19-year-olds, the 20-year-olds, the 16-year-olds. I want to speak to them. But I've been doing my show, man, and for almost a year now, actually a year now, and I've been getting engagements across the age spectrum. Old people calling to my show, Uber drivers would be calling into my show. CEOs would be calling into my show. Young people in grade 8 and high, they be calling into my show. So it's been an interesting mix of reactions of people, and what I appreciated about it is everybody feels involved in creating the opinion. It's not like, yo, I'm creating an opinion and I'm imposing it on everybody. It's like they're all a part of doing it. It's been good. So I've never received negative feedback so far. Maybe the people with negative feedback aren't saying it just yet, but it's been positive feedback all around.
Our beloved president recently did the State of the Nation address. It has received heavy criticism. What's your view on it? What are your ups? What are your downs? What can we take away that maybe young people haven't been aware of, or we heard with a different ear, that you want to just bring back in line?
That speech made it very obvious what the president takes serious and what he doesn't. And this, usually the State of the Nation tries to address everybody. But this one tried to address specifically investors only. It was a very economic heavy State of the Nation address. But this is how you knew the president took something serious. When he spoke about it, he always said, I have appointed a task team in the president's office, and here are the timelines. They'll be done with this work in the next 2 to 3 weeks. With everything else, oh my goodness.
Woo. Hang in there.
Woo. Does the milk help?
Aren't you, isn't it helping now?
Ooh. No way. What flavor is it?
Caribbean blood fire.
Ooh. I may just cry some real tears. Oh,
That's what it did.
that was so good, man.
You gotta wait for it.
With everything else, man.
Sorry, I'm laughing at this. I'm laughing at the Sona speech. Are you okay?
Oh, man.
You want to just go to the next wing? You okay?
I'm good.
You want to conclude what you're saying about the Sona?
Wait, I'm not good. Oh, man.
For those of you Y listeners and YFM presenters watching this show, we still invite you gladly to come over, defend your honor.
Whew. I'm good. So yeah, the things he didn't take serious. You could hear it. There was no clear timeline. There was no task team appointed. It was handed over to some random person in his cabinet. And you could tell he didn't have the same energy about it. So I think he took fighting corruption serious, and I think he took economic building serious. Everything else was secondary to him.
Okay. Sounds good. You ready for the next one? You doing okay?
Much better than the previous one.
Really?
I mean, it has that delay as well. Oh man, that delay is killer.
So he announces that the elections are coming up 8th of May. What are your predictions of what do you think the results are going to be? And
The ANC is obviously going to win. And this is just pure off of numbers, you know.
But what are the pros and cons that each party has right now?
To be honest, if people choose not to vote, I wouldn't be surprised. I read the manifestos, bro. I've engaged these people. None of them really take our issues very serious. Or at least they've run out of ideas.
Who is the party to look out for? Who's saying which party has the head on right that we should maybe look out for without you marketing and promoting them? I guess you can speak for each
It
party.
depends. It depends on where you're sitting in life. If you're a young person, unemployed, desperate, the EFF is speaking to you. If you're a middle-class South African trying to break into upward social mobility, the ANC speaks to you. Or the DA speaks to you. Do you get what I'm saying? Or if you're just a upper middle-class white South African, the DA speaks to you. Because they articulate those issues so well about your text not going to work and all of these things. But if you really have to go look at the mechanics, I'm unconvinced the ANC has a solution for job creation. I don't think the EFF has any better idea either, you know? And the DA's never had an idea when it came to jobs. So, when it comes to the big three, I'm not excited. I think you'll see a lot of people looking to smaller parties.
Are there any smaller parties right now that are maybe doing something in the right direction? They just don't have the necessary resources that the big three has.
No. Because look at who's starting the smaller parties. It's the old people. The problem is, take away the EFF, name me one political party that was either started or is dominated by young people. You don't, and I think you'll have that once a younger person starts a political party.
Hint, hint.
No, that's not a hint. That's not a hint. I'm definitely not starting my own party. At least not anytime soon. But I do hope there are other young people out there who have the energy for it.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. It breaks you down, and being in politics is a lot. It's heavy, bro.
What is your message to all the parties coming up? What do they need to be aware of? What do they need to do to speak to the people?
It says lethal.
Like some of our parties. Talk to us. Tell us that. Tell us where you are. How we can get a hold of you. What you're up to next.
Oh man. Guys, please come to my funeral. The details are on my Twitter. It's @Oliver_speaking. You're all invited. Wow, man. It's lethal for real. So yeah, man, I'm doing a number of things. I'm still at YFM. But importantly, I'm back to writing. May or may not be working on a book. We'll have to see.
To the parties listening, what's your message?
Listen to the people, bro. That's it. I need water.
You want to chat to someone while you're burning?
Yeah. DJ Savvy, you need to do this. AKA, you need to do this. I'm not crying, real tears now.